Alicia, joining me now is Republican Texas Congressman and member of the House Ways and Means Committee, Jodey Arrington. He's also a member of the bicameral Joint Economic Committee. Congressman, thanks for taking time on this Saturday. I want to take you right to where Mark was just reporting about the spending. We can show you just the list of all of the taxes, if you will, that will pay for roads and bridges and a whole lot more. But you had a tweet this week that really jogged me to remember the days of Ronald Reagan, when President Reagan talked about our government is too big and we the people is you and I, and we need to get it down. Now, seems we're seeing the opposite.
Yeah, well, listen, this spending spree is not just going to make us less competitive because we're going to raise taxes, according to Biden and Democrats, higher than communist China, which will crowd out capital and run our jobs back overseas. And it's not really just about a debt that's unsustainable and a potential debt crisis, which a country can't print its way out of or borrow its way out of. It's about the contraction of our liberties. As government expands, our liberty contracts, and this is not just cradle-to-grave care for our citizens, it's control. And that's ultimately what this plan, we the government plan, and those aren't my words, those are President Biden's words. He equates we the government with we the people. He couldn't be more wrong. If we lose our liberty, we lose the key ingredients that have unleashed the greatest country, the most prosperous country, the most powerful country in the history of the world.
Congressman, bipartisanship seems a thing of the past in this town right now. What in this massive infrastructure bill do you and your fellow Republicans agree upon? What can you get done?
Well, this president promised bipartisanship and unity. We've seen nothing of the sort. He's had more executive orders than the last four presidents combined. And speaking of economic recovery and growth, he's totally destroyed a pillar of growth and jobs, which is an affordable, predictable, safe supply of fuel and energy with the fossil fuel industry, writing one executive order after the other to ban drilling, to cancel the XL pipeline, get back into the Paris Agreement. Now, again, he wants to tax us higher than communist China, as I've said. So we're going to put so much weight on the job creators at a time when they can least endure it. And not only are we going to slow recovery, we will depress this economy and put us in a far worse position, all because of not infrastructure, but the Green New Deal, not protecting families, but expanding entitlements in the welfare state to make families more dependent on government. That's the ultimate plan here. That's why his tone may be moderate at the joint session, but his plan is anything but. In fact, it's the most radical plan I think this country has ever seen.
Congressman, you have led delegations to the border last month. You're intimately familiar with the crisis we were just talking about before you came on. Nothing in this infrastructure in terms of building walls or doing some of the things the last administration did. Do you believe that border components should be in this bill?
Absolutely. It's the number one job of the government. Keep your people, your citizens safe. Prioritize their safety and security. And none of that came out in the president's remarks. In fact, he said, we've got to stop declaring war on immigration. I've got a message for the president. These people, these wonderful people, the American people, are not at war with immigrants. We welcome the legal immigrant. America is more generous to immigrants than any other country. We represent 5% of the total world population, 20% of the total immigrant population. So no one treats the immigrant better. We're at war with illegal immigration. And guess what? He's not in the fight. He's totally checked out. He's derelict in his first and most sacred responsibility to protect Americans. And the people who are winning the war are on the other side of the border. They're the drug cartels. And they are winning. And the losers are our people, the people who are being abused on their way over here, and the kids that are being used as passports. But this president is totally checked out on all the above.
Just a few seconds left, but if you could put one thing in this bill that's not in there, what would it be? Wall construction?
I would put in any security measure, starting with replenishing funding for the wall and not redirecting it to levees, because we don't have a flood control problem at the border. We have a deluge of people, crime, gangs, and the like coming over. So I would start with border security, and then I'd start closing loopholes and just enforce the laws that are on the books today.
Congressman Jodey Arrington, thank you for taking time. We will check back in with you because we know you've got your finger on the pulse at the border. Thank you, sir.